Good morning and welcome to today's info session. Welcome to North Dakota Afterschool Learning Platforms. I'm Kristen Knorr, Network Lead with the North Dakota Afterschool Network. And the network is really excited to share two opportunities for out-of-school time programs across North Dakota to continue and deepen your learning for you and your staff. We know that time for trainings can be really tricky and challenging in after school. And we also know that programs have varied training needs. In order to be responsive to those needs, the network has invested in two online on-demand learning platforms for you and your staff to have access to. The content is relevant, timely, and easy to access. And we're going to talk more about what that looks like today. So in this info session, we're going to cover the CipherWorks learning platform, talk about what it is, what it looks like, what types of courses are on it, and how to access. And then also the Flourish Lab e-learning platform. And we'll talk about how to access both of those and also leave time for any questions. If you do have any questions throughout our info session, please feel free to put them in the chat box, and we'll try to address those as we go on. But the first learning platform I want to introduce is called CipherWorks. So this is an online learning platform that was created especially for out-of-school time programs. So the content on there has language that is applicable for out-of-school time settings. There are hundreds, over 500 on-demand courses for out-of-school time programs, as well as trainings for early childhood providers. You'll find courses on health and safety, human resources, social emotional learning, courses on the Child Development Associate, and more. There's also a 36 course after school certificate learning series, and many courses are available in both English and Spanish. The North Dakota Afterschool Network's Quality Work Group has been looking through all of these courses and exploring the content, considering the quality standards for out-of-school time programs, the self-assessment data and feedback that we have been receiving over the past 4 years, and based on requests and needs that we have from programs across the state. And anybody with access to the platform will have access to all of the courses, but to help guide your learning and streamline where to start with those hundreds of courses, we have created suggested learning paths based on staff positions. You can see those, an overview of the suggested learning path guide on this screen here. So we have courses suggested for director role, for site coordinator or a supervisor role, and then for direct staff positions, both full-time and part-time positions. With support from the North Dakota Afterschool Network, the platform is going to be available at no cost to any out-of-school time program across North Dakota, which is a significant savings of paying both a platform setup fee and a per user fee. The platform is also accessible on most browsers, and you can access it both on desktop and mobile. You will need internet access in order to access the platform. The platform is very straightforward and user-friendly. There is not a lot of extra content on it, so users should be able to access it fairly easy. You will need internet access, like I mentioned. There are multiple ways that we can get set up into the platform, which we'll go on over in a little bit. There are also multiple levels of access to the site. So the North Dakota Afterschool Network will have full administrative access to add or remove users. We can create learning paths, we can create new courses, and we can do other administrative privileges. Each program site or each program will have a designee for who is an admin for the staff within your program. You can choose either one individual to have that admin access, or you can choose multiple individuals. Program leaders, or whoever is assigned admin for your program, will be able to assign courses to any staff that are registered under your program, be able to add staff, be able to remove staff, be able to set a deadline. So if you want staff to take a certain course within a specific time period, you're able to assign it to that staff and then set a deadline for when you would like them to complete it. You'll also have access to the records for all of the staff. So in that section, you'll be able to see where people are at with their learning, what courses they have accessed, what courses they have completed. You'll also able to see analytics, so you'll be able to see how much time an individual spent taking the course. You can also download completion certificates. You can download a full certificate of all the courses that people have taken. Site leaders can also have the option of creating a course for their staff. In the past, when we had CipherWorks back in 2019, we had some programs that were utilizing it, and some programs use this as part of their onboarding process. So all of the records for onboarding were in one place that was easy to access. For example, they would upload their onboarding process create a course, upload their onboarding process, put any policies that they wanted new staff to acknowledge, and also used it for their annual acknowledgement of policies. So then staff would have to take that course, acknowledge the policies, answer any questions, report any data, and then you would have record of that staff have acknowledged those policies. Creating a course is fairly simple, and it can include images, videos, recording, voiceovers. If that is a feature that you would like to utilize, the network can provide an additional support in helping you utilize that feature. Most courses range from 30 minutes to 90 minutes long. Users will have the ability to stop and start the course at other times. It will save your progress. Once an individual logs in, so this image is showing an example of once somebody logs in, they will be able to see any courses that they have added to their account or that have been assigned to them. They will have access to the full course catalogs to search for trainings, but once they log in, for ease of access, they can see what has been assigned or what they have previously selected. You can see how each of these courses has a launch button, and that is what staff will click on when they're ready to start a course. So they'll click the launch button, it will open up in the same window. Courses have a variety of reading, audio, video, and also multiple choice and open-ended reflection questions. At the end of each course, there is a quick quiz that they'll need to take, and then also the platform requests any feedback on the course. This feedback does go directly to CipherWorks, so the questions are asked about, if you had any challenges accessing the course, if there was any questions you had about the content that you saw, but you're also encouraged to share that feedback with the network. To help refine our course suggestions or to create courses for any topic that is not in the catalogs, that feedback would be really helpful for us to have so that we can continue to refine the courses that we're suggesting. This is another example of what some of the courses look like in the course catalog. You can see on the screen that these courses are specifically for out-of-school time program, and there's a variety of courses on anything from creating and managing budgets in school-age programs to developing activities that encourage creativity and cognitive development. You'll also see specialty courses like creating a successful club, special events and field trips in school-age program, and then also some overview courses like commitment to quality in school-age programs and current trends and issues in out-of-school time programs. So how do you access CipherWorks? We are trying to set up an easy way for programs to access this. And what you would need to do first is determine the person or people that you are going to have administrative access to your site. This can change throughout the time, but we ask that you determine, either one person or multiple people. If you're going to have multiple sites, it is recommended to have at least one person from each of those sites that has administrative access. So that person will be the main contact for anybody that's listed under your program. They'll have administrative access to all staff within your site. And we ask that that person or those people use this Calendly link to set up a 30-minute meeting with the network. There are spots available starting August 26th all the way through September 26th. Let me know if you need some additional times, if nothing in there works or you want to extend it past the end of September, you can absolutely do that as well. But in this 30-minute meeting, we will start collecting the information, and really all that we need in order to set up users is an email address and a name. Once we have an email address and a name, we can start to build your program. We can walk you through, we have some user guides, but we can walk you through what it looks like on the site, how to access it, how to assign courses, look at how to create a course if that's a feature that you want to use. We are paying per user. So if you have a staff change throughout the year, you can take that the staff that has left or is no longer with your program and replace that with another staff, which is a nice feature to have. And then once you are set up, you can start learning, and you can access as few or as many of the courses as you want. The network does have full admin access, and we will be looking from time to time to see what are courses that are frequently being accessed by lots of people. We'll also be taking feedback on, is there anything missing? Are there North Dakota specific courses that you would like to see? Because then we can create a course and have that on the site for your staff to access. Before we move on to talking about the Flourish Lab e-learning platform, are there any comments or questions about the CipherWorks platform? All right, happy to answer any questions that come up either now or after this session as well. Now jumping into the other e-learning platform that we are making available to any out-of-school time program across the state is the Flourish Lab e-learning platform. This platform was also created specifically as professional development for after-school staff. The Flourish Lab is a social emotional learning online learning series that's designed to positively shift the way that adults show up for young people. It is as hands-on as online on-demand curriculum can be, and it really takes a human look at creating positive out-of-school time environments while supporting not only the adults' social emotional learning skills, but also the social emotional growth in young people. If you attended the North Dakota Out-of-School Time and Early Childhood Summit this past July, you heard from one of the creators of the Flourish Lab, and their main facilitator, Amy Brady and Eric Golden, who led a day-long workshop on owning your influence in early childhood and out-of-school time spaces. So this e-learning platform will take the workshop that you had and take that learning even further. The Flourish Lab has 4 core modules, each of which are 90 minutes long. The content is a combination of video, self-paced reading, reflection activities, quizzes, and interactive games and quizzes. The Ignite core module includes an introduction to the Flourish Lab. So in that module, you can discover what social and emotional development means and why it matters in after school. Learn about your role in supporting the positive development of young people, how your personal development is an essential part of that process. You'll learn about the 3 lenses that create impactful youth programs, what it means to create environments that bring out the best in us, and the connection between your why and your work. In the relationships module, that explores why relationships matter, the importance of belonging, and how trust is something that you can bank on, which is incredibly important when you're working with young people. In the Presence core module, you'll discover mindful strategies for positively showing up, the ripple effect of our attitudes and behaviors as adults, and how your presence impacts relationships. Planning includes how to become a genius at managing time and materials, effective planning for greater engagement, and the connection between lesson planning, relationships, and presence. In addition to these 4 core modules, there are also additional workshops within each of them that dive further into some of the topics, some of the main core topics. How to access the Flourish Lab platform. The orientation will begin with Jen Harris of the Flourish Lab, and that orientation is intended for whoever oversees staff training or provides direct staff support. Depending on how many people in your organization will be participating and that you would like to have access to the site, it might be a program director, a site coordinator, or a combination of positions. If your program has multiple sites, the Flourish Lab does suggest to have someone representing each site attend that call. Once an organization signs up for an orientation call, Jen will send you a user registration spreadsheet to start collecting information that's needed to give each user access to the platform. Again, it's not a lot of information that is needed. It's emails and other easy to collect information. You can use this link that is on the screen, and I'll also share it in an email after this info session. But there are time slots anywhere from August 30th through September 20th. In addition to group leaders having access to see all the people under their specific program or who you assign to have access to the Flourish Lab, group leaders will also have access to toolkits with each of the modules in the e-learning system. Those toolkits include extension activities, scenarios, and discussion questions that can be used both as self-reflection and as part of team meetings or other team learning. Because the content in the Flourish Lab is one that is so frequently requested by programs, the network wants to help deepen and expand your learning. And to do that, we are creating a community of practice throughout the 24-25 school year. So any site coordinator, supervisor, or direct staff are invited to participate in the community of practice. This series will support implementation of the practices for staff and in your programs and working with youth. In these sessions, you will connect with other after-school staff and leaders, practice some of the strategies that you have learned, reflect on shared experiences, and problem solve collaboratively with peers across the state. You are strongly encouraged to attend all of the sessions, but are welcome to attend any that work with your schedule. Because of the nature of these sessions will not be recorded or shared out. Prior to attending each of the sessions, attendees will be asked to complete one of the 4 core modules, as the sessions will be designed with us all on that same learning path. And with that, that was a brief introduction to 2 of the learning platforms that the network is going to support implementation of, to give you and your staff access to many ways that you can deepen your learning. With that, are there any questions that anybody has? All right. This will be sent out